your group, the complex case of the group. Uh, Here you have also 4 or 5 main properties you will have to get in your mind. You should say that if the group is abelian, the first property is like the irreducible representation of abelian group is necessary of one-dimensional. The first property. The second property for this the theorem of Snag, which is the first condition, the first property is for the case of abelian case. The third condition is of the duality of Pontryagin, when you can identify the B-dual to the dual of your group. We call it just the three main properties of when you consider the group which is abelian. For the compact round, you have around maybe also 4 or 5 main properties you have to get in your mind concerning this kind of group. The first property you can get here, I put in one here, any unitary representation of here, any representation of compact group in unitary. Any representation of compact group is unitary is here. That is the first property you have to. That means that if you have a representation of compact group, it is not always not already unitary. You can put some scalar product on your Hilbert space, such that will be unitary. That's what we call it unitarizable. If you are representing on this, it is not unitary. You can put a scalar product on your Hilbert space, such that your representation will be unitary for this new scalar product to put on your Hilbert space. Okay, let us consider. The Hilbert space H like this with this scalar product. The Hilbert space should have almost necessarily a scalar product by definition of Hilbert space. You have a scalar product which you find, which is the bilinear or maybe control. You always study already. This is the scalar product and this. And the pi representation and the pi is a representation of J into on this Hilbert space. Yeah. So if pi is not unitary like this, yeah, you can define another scalar product on this side that this will be unitary. Let us suppose that U V element of H like this, and you put like UV, you put the UV V, you put it like this. You do that this integral of over G of this kind of map Px of y U Py Px V and d mu of x. Yeah, this I put it. This is the former scalar product in your group, in your Hilbert space. I define another one. This is the other side is scalar product. Here is the scalar product also in H. Of A, this kind of and you can prove easily for the new one. You can prove that, and you just complete it like simply x y of I can put y here of u pi y v for the new scalar product. This is necessarily equal to u v. That means that pi is then pi is unitary. the pi is unitary. If your representation is not is all only unitary, you are saying this one will be equal to this. It's all very simple. But if not unitary like this, we can put it, can consider this, we complete it easily that you have this, it should be equal to this, and then we say that this is also unitary vector. This is the former scalar product you put on your list. I repeat again. If your representation is always unitary, this equal to this is a no calculation again. But if it's not unitary, you complete it, you get this relation. Very simple. That means that pi is also unitary for this new scalar product. Yeah, mu here is what we call the normalized half measure. If not, you'll be sure. Mu is a normalized half measure. Okay, put it like so. Okay, right here. In this part of the course, the measure I will consider will be normalized. Mu is a normalized half measure. Is a normalized half measure. That means that is the measure of mass equal to 1. That means that the integral of j, the mu of x, is equal to 1. Because you can normalize it very easily. For any compact, you can normalize it like this. So mu here is a normalized half measure. Then if this one is not is unitary, the same, will be equal. So if not, you complete it like this, you get the result. Very, very simple. So in this part of course, the course, we suppose that any mu, the measure we use here, the half measure we use there, we want to normalize. We normalize like this. This half measure. I don't need to speak about to say that a half measure, left half measure, and right half measure, because the group is compact. When you study the last time for the case of when you study the half measure, if your group is compact, then your group is you go to the group unimodular group. Unimodular group. If the group is unimodular, the half measure, the left half measure coincide with the right half measure. So if the group is compact, I don't need to say that if it's at the left or at the right. Because the group is compact, then unimodular. It's the same for the abelian group also, which is also unimodular. Okay. This is the first main properties we are getting. You have the group is compact. If your group is compact, any representation you can suppose that it's also always unitary. So the only representation we take there, if that's it, I don't still say that it's unitary, it always be so. If it's not unitary, you can put it in another scalar product on this side that will be unitary. Okay, thanks. The second property you can get for this kind of prop, which is very also useful, what we call that any representation like this contain any which unitary representations of J contains a sub-representation. A sub-representation. Which is a finite dimensional. And it's just true. Any representation of your compact group contains in some representation which is finite dimensional with the main properties. Okay, I can give you an idea about the proof of this. This about the proof. Here we can we say that when we consider the which is irreducible, we say that that means that the which will be finite dimensional because it contains itself, which will be necessarily finite dimensional. For the proof, if you can use it like this, I can give you just a sketch of the proof like this. Let's consider what we call the veil operators. The veil operator key V. You consider the veil operator key V, V an element of a Hilbert space. This is the key V like this. I remind you that key V of U is like the integral of J of the scalar pod of U pi of x V pi of x V. You can the normalized high measure I put it like this kind of fish. Because this here key KV for all V in H, key V is a linear operator on H like this kind of fish. For all you also in the Hilbert space. We call this operator a veil operator. This veil operator have some properties. Key V is bounded. You can see the proof in my book, very simple to prove. You can put it in my book, in bounded, and key V is intertwin our representation. It's on this pi. If you are suppose that our representation in pi here, you can call our representation pi here, you know, this which is just representation like this, is like this. Is like that means that key V composed of pi x will be equal to pi x composed of key V. What I mean? It is an intertwining operator. You get this here? Yeah, it's intertwining operator. Then this compared to intertwin the representation like this. This is the first. The second, the third property of your veil operators also, you can prove that the veil operator is a self-adjoint. Key V is self-adjoint. Is also self-adjoint. That means that the adjoint of key V is equal to key V. Is self-adjoint, this kind of proof. And the fourth one, properties we can get, key V is also compact. Okay, but the right is here. Key V is compact. Is called to compact. Try to do the proof of this in the exercise. Prove it. Proof. I like exercise. You have all in my book. Very all the details. The fact that this one is bounded, is in the intertwin this kind of protection, is self-adjoint, and is compact also. This kind of this. Then you use also another property that if you have an operator which is self-adjoint is compact, then the Engel value, the Engel space is finite dimensional. They have this property that key V is compact and self-adjoint. Then the Engel space, I can note that V, that key V like this. Engel can put it like the key V. Engel space is finite dimensional. This kind of the Taylor space, I don't mean that you compact is self-adjoint, and then they can get that, they can get, there is this, yeah, so much of this, you can get, then, yeah, there is this, and then this is engaged value, engaged value. The property that T is compact is self-adjoint, you can get an eigenvalue lambda such that the eigenspace lambda like this is finite dimensional, like this. So I repeat again, KV is compact, is also self-adjoint. Then there exists an eigenvalue lambda such that the eigenspace is finite dimensional, such that you can put it, such that you have this KV is compact and self-adjoint, then there exists this kind of label value such that the eigenspace is finite dimensional. The dimension of this eigenspace is finite, is odd. So you try to use this property and to prove that any representation of compact group contains a subrepresentation which is finite dimensional. Okay, here is eigenspace associated to the eigenvalue. So yeah, this. And you can prove that, first of all, it's very simple to prove that pi for all x in G, pi x of E lambda is contained in E. That means that E lambda is invariant by pi. That means that E lambda is invariant by pi. I repeat again, this property is very, I can put in this properties, I want you to again here. I think that the key V is compact and self-adjoint. Then there exists an eigenvalue lambda such that the eigenspace like this is finite dimensional. What I'm telling you, there is what is finite dimensional. And you can put easily that this there is a pi of F. You can compute pi of F. You can take from any U in the E. So that here I can compute pi of F of U. Of this U. If U is here, that means that your key V of U is lambda U. Because lambda is the eigenvalue of your operator like this. Here is just means that you have this condition, which is be equal to use it and then that. And if you have, I can compute like the key V of here of this one. Look at here of this kind of one. You have to prove that lambda pi of SU. You can prove it is it will be all this kind of it. This kind of and we know already that key V of pi x of U is a key V composite of pi x of U. And you prove already that key V is an intertwin operator of pi. Then it is equal to pi x composite of kV of U. Like this. Yeah, because key V is like this. It's like entity operator of this. So you can write it, you can write this condition. And from here, you have this. From here, that means that it will be equal to here pi of x of lambda u, if you lambda pi of x, then pi of x of e lambda is contained in e lambda. What you are going to put? That means that e lambda here is invariant by pi. Divided by pi. When we put down, let's set the pi here, theta, the restriction of pi to this one, to this one. I can put it in pi, I put pi lambda like this. The restriction of pi into this space, because this is invariant like this. Then pi. You know only that the dimension of ether is finite. Then pi lambda is contained in pi. And you know only that the dimension of lambda is finite. Because usually this condition. This condition. The finite, the difference is finite. So the result of this pi lambda is a representation of J into on this space which is finite dimensional. Then pi contain a representation of finite dimensional. Watch out this. Okay. And the third properties we can get also, which is just a corollary of this, any representation, any unitary, irreducible representation of compact group is finite dimensional. Is finite dimensional also. Just a consequence of this, because its representation is irreducible, is contained itself. Here will be a finite dimensional. It is called. It's one of the property of this one. Then I give you the third properties of here. Okay, put the free form like this is kind of properties. We said that what kind of quality we can give you now. Yeah, that's what. I can say that the representation of this here is contained like that. Okay, we can say that if TR, TR like this, you study as example of representation, regular, right regular representation. Right regular representation. You cannot do like this. So I will try to put something, and I will try to say that the multiplicity of pi in this kind of representation is exactly equal to the dimension of your d pi. What you are going to prove. The multiplicity of this kind of representation is equal to d pi. That means that any irreducible pi here is contained in this representation d pi star. That means that pi is contained in TR d pi time. this all. It's completely depends on this by time. What also you can prove, the proof is very it also simple. You can prove it. But I'll give you a sketch of the proof of this now. I'll give you just a sketch of the proof of this. I will prove that this is a regular representation. It's a regular representation. I'll prove that the pi is contained here d pi times. The pi is contained here d pi times. And the multiplicity of this notation is the multiplicity. Multiplicity of a representation of d pi. What I mean here? Let us suppose that let's put that to such a form. Let's put m like this. M1 of pi. The some space generated by pi 1 I like this of x. Like this. Where pi I of this here is a coefficient matrix of pi is coefficient matrix of pi. You prove the last time. You put last time that if I remind you, see that the pi I g of x like this. We proved the last time that is pi x of e I. If you remember, you put this in the first course of the theory of representation, where a I here is a basis, orthonormal basis in here in H. In basis. Orthonormal basis, we put it already, which is called the coefficient of the representation pi. You can get in this time. And here, and from here, just I put that pi here. I will denote by this I put let us, if you put m pi here, I can put that it's generated by this kind of ig like this of x. Well, is a matrix of your representation, and to the degree of pi is dp like this kind of form, and then I will put I like this kind of form. Then when we put that pi like this, so I put I here, so you can put I here. No, it's the same. If we put I here, yeah, if we put I here, it's the same. So, okay, I can put I put G here, J here. So J here will be correct for us. Okay. Then this one is for pi like this is the one for. I can put it like this in pi from this one. Then the m pi will be the sum, the rest sum of m pi like this, which is equal to the m of 1 pi, 2 pi, and d pi. This condition. You have this. You can decompose it like this. And if you are put this regular representation of here for all y here, if I compute here m of 1 of pi will be contained of m y of pi. That means that m1 of pi is invariant by TR, DTI. This is invariant by TI. how can you see it? If you complete like this, here you complete TR of y of P1G like this of x. By definition is the pi of 1G like this, G of x y. The action is at the right like this. This is exactly the sum of pi 1k of x pi k g of y. This kind of when k from 1 into the pi. You can write it like this like this. And from here, from here, this is the coefficient like this. So this is the coefficient like this. So you have that you put that TR of y or p pi 1g of x is like, okay, what is that the linear combination of two d pi, what is the coefficient and pi 1k 1k for k 1 into d here is what we put of y here. Here is our coefficient, which is called which is here pi k g of kg of what here of y, kg of y. Then this is for of x. This kind of. Then that means that this is an element also in 1 pi. That means that this is invariant by pi. And from here, you can prove also that it is invariant. You can consider the restriction of this, of this element here, this. And you can prove easily that this is equivalent to pi. This is equivalent to pi for 1. Then, for all I, TR, the restriction of MI, like this pi, will be equivalent to pi, like this. The restriction of I pi will be equivalent to pi. That means that what? When you are in this condition, this is equivalent to pi. This will be equivalent to pi. When you do the restriction now, let us. I'll write it somewhere here. Then when you take t, the restriction of m here, pi here, we have this condition. This one, the restriction of this to this, you did that tr restriction of 1 pi plus tr restriction of 2 pi and so on. And the n tr restriction to t dp pi like this, like this kind of, this kind of, the last one is like this. Here is equivalent to this. This one is also equivalent to pi. This is also equivalent to pi. So you have d pi times d pi side. Is why you say that pi is contained here. D pi side. From here, you can deduce that the multiplicity of d pi is that the multiplicity of your pi in this regular representation. You can prove it also by when the representation is not is regular, but left regular representation will be the same proof. It will be very simple for you. Very simple. Will be the simple for you. Okay, thanks. Now I'll give you another property. The main property you can get also for the end, what we call the Peter-Webb theorem, which is also very, 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 very important to do so. Peter-Webb theorem. is also very important, this kind of theorem, which you can help you to decompose it, any representation of J like this, like the direct sum of this kind of representation. The direct sum of this kind of representation like this, where pi is the element of the dual of J. Here is the element of the J here is the dual of J. It contains the representation, any irreducible representation of J. Contains the set of irreducible unitary representation of J. That is why when the representation is the G is abelian, you have just the characters, the set of the character, because any irrational representation of the abelian one is just a character, because the dimension is just equal to 1. You got the character of this one. You call this here is what the Peter vector. We can decompose this here the square integral function. They like this, say that you have this f minus of s square. The mu of s is it's square integral function. We can do this square integral function. This kind of function is possible. This is the main result we can get concerning the compact one. So for the compact, you have to prove that any rational representation of compact is finite dimensional. That you have to get your mind back. And also from here you need the fact of some basic elements. So any representation also of compact is just you can get it. You can get a scalar on this side that will be also unitary, what you call the unitary representation. And so yes, and so note that any irrational representation of J is contained dp times in this kind of representation also. It will be simple. And in the regular, the white regular representation. If you want regular representation, which is this kind of property is very useful also for the compact group. And the next time I'll give you some example of representation and so on. Okay, thanks.